Hello everybody, today we're doing another monster fight, but this time every enemy has 1 HP. To do this, we'll be using the Make Monsters Fight Each Other mod by LordRobertus, Forever Muddled by Arch Leaders, Autobuild Ninjutsu by Miztr-Sage, and last but not least, All Enemies Have 1 HP by Sori. Now our first fight is a comment recommended fight between two Lynels, but since they're the same species, we're going to have to use Muddlebuds. The issue, however, is that Muddlebuds normally do a small amount of damage to every enemy, which means they would effectively kill the Lynels, which is where the Autobuild Ninjutsu mod comes in handy. I really thought this was going to be a case of who attacks first, but actually the first Lynel just completely missed. Now with the auto build mod, it should be quite easy to hit multiple Lynels at once with the Muddlebud effect. Well, that ended very quickly. I suppose it helps when most Lynel attacks are very sweeping. Round 2. This time I've tried to separate them, so hopefully it doesn't end as quickly. Well, this is nice. Oh, they're teleporting back. It looks like the Muddlebud has worn off, so we'll have to hit them again. And the game froze. We have another comment recommended fight. This time it's a Chuchu versus Ganondorf. Now Ganondorf's bow shouldn't work here, so it is just going to be a melee fight. And Ganondorf is the first to step into the pit.
I have the high ground! You underestimate my power! Don't try it!
And it's all over, a swing and a miss for Ganondorf, but the Chuchu does not make the same mistake. He uses the high ground to his advantage and completely smothers Ganondorf. I think we'll try that again, but make it a little bit more fair for Ganondorf, which is not something I think I would be saying. Now let's try a different type of Chuchu. That was interesting. I wonder if the Chuchu would have won, or at least got a draw I should say, if it kept its fire powers going. That's quite interesting actually. So any enemy that fights an elemental Chuchu, unless it can quickly get away after killing it, or kill it from range, or maybe its weak spot isn't near where it actually hits or attacks, then I think it's always going to be a draw. Don't ask me why Ganondorf's bow now suddenly works. The question is, how many can Ganondorf take on before eventually dying? And the Chuchus win. I think probably the spear is the worst weapon for Ganondorf to go with when fighting these guys. You want something that's like more sweeping. Now the question is, does second form Ganondorf do any better? It looks like I got a bad batch of Chuchus with this one. Oh, wait, I think Ganondorf has just died from pulling a muscle. I imagine it does get pretty tiring using that bow. But if I had to actually guess, I imagine he probably missed with an arrow and the arrow came back and hit him. Let's try and spawn the Chuchus a bit closer and hopefully they don't just ignore Ganondorf this time. And okay, it looks like the Chuchus have angered the gods and have caused a blood moon. And they've also crashed the game. Our next comment recommended fight is a Talus vs Aerocudas. Well, that was very straightforward. That is one of the many issues of using Aerocudas to fight other monsters. Now, I can't work out why the Aerocudas won't actually attack the Talus. It did seem to attack it earlier when it was in the ground, but it doesn't seem to do anything while it's actually awake. Now hopefully, since the Aerocudas are more spaced out, they don't accidentally all kill each other. And they're still not doing anything. Now I'm hoping on the ground something may change, hopefully. I may have just accidentally spawned in loads of Taluses. Now, I think we're going to have to move on to a different enemy type. Now, our next fight is another comment recommended fight, and that is a Gleeok versus an Aerocuda. It looks like we're going to need some more Aerocuda. It looked like it was a few seconds away there from actually winning. Now I think the real issue here is the Aerocuda end up actually killing each other before they reach the Gleeok. The game did not like that. Okay, the Aerocuda are a little bit more spaced out now and a little bit closer. Now it seems a big part of these fights is actually which enemy sees the other first. And the Gleeoks kind of have a big advantage over the Aerocuda, as Aerocudas kind of only can see what's in front of them. Now for our next comment recommended fight, we have a Gleeok versus a Keese. That was very quick. Now let's try a group of them, or a swarm. Now it actually looks like the keys are too slow to even get to the Gleeok, as Gleeoks tend to keep a rough distance away from the actual enemies they're fighting. Now one did get very close there, but it didn't seem to pull off an actual attack. Now I'd like to see how do fire keys do against a flamed Gleeok. And the answer is there's actually no difference. I think if I remember correctly, the Gleeok beam actually does do a set amount of damage. It's not purely elemental. And some of the keys are aware of this and seem to be trying to fly away. Now the last comment recommended fight just said boss Bokoblin, so I assume that means boss Bokoblins against each other? And round 2. Now that is all of the recommended fights we have today. If you have any suggestions, let me know in the comments below, and I probably will try and do all of the fights recommended. The only thing is you should try and avoid Yiga clan members and any of the temple bosses, as they basically just don't work. Although maybe at some point in the future they will. Also, as mentioned in the start of the video, the 1 HP mod was actually made by me. Obviously it's a very simple mod, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to make it. But I'd like to thank Ykutaru and the Totk modding Discord for helping me with any questions I had. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.